Alright guys, welcome back to the garage. It's Thursday, September the 24th. Special delivery. You got a new used cylinder head sent from my buddy in the US, Todd. Anybody that's a member of Six Pack will know Todd is the parts guy that you call when you're in need. So Todd's hooked me up with a early cylinder head. He's done a quick thickness measurement on it, and we've got some meat left on it to machine it. So let's get this thing unboxed and we'll have a quick look at it. Interesting. These little bore holes. I'm assuming this was done by Customs. So I don't know if they stuck a camera in there or whatever, but hopefully they didn't damage anything when they bored in through the box. Because I know, I'm pretty sure that Todd didn't do it, because obviously these holes were done after this label was affixed. So anyway, let's check it out. We'll get it unboxed. Alright guys, there's a quick look at the bottom side of it. It looks good. It's a lot less work on it done than the previous head. This one's had a lot of polishing and stuff done to it. You can sort of see on some of the areas when you compare the two. So yeah, so that's the bottom side. And we'll flip it around and look at the top side, and then we'll get it off to the machine shop probably tomorrow morning. We'll make the long drive back to Stony Creek, Ontario. As mentioned previously, it's about a 150-kilometer drive for me to get this to a machine shop. So we'll do that probably tomorrow morning before we head into work, and we'll leave it there until it's done. Hopefully I'll get it back within the next couple of weeks, but we'll drop it off with all the new parts we have for it. Anyway, let's have a flip over and we'll have a look at the top side. Alright, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell or not on camera, but it definitely looks like the old intake ports have been enlarged on the old head versus the new intake ports are on my newer head. So I don't know if you can see that by comparison, but definitely look a little larger just by eyeballing it. So that's kind of interesting. So let me flip it right over to the top and we'll have a look at it. I think what they were doing when they were boring through the box, as you can see, actually all the plastic popped down into the valve guides. I think they were probably examining the inside for anything stuffed inside, whether it be narcotics, whatever. So anyway, there's the top side of the head. You can definitely visually see that the heads are different thicknesses. Obviously the front one being a lot thicker than the rear. I don't know if you could be able to tell that on camera either, but I can tell just with the naked eye that the head I just got is significantly thicker than the rear one, as it should be. So didn't think it would be that visual, but it is. Anyway, we'll clean this plastic bits out of here a little bit before we get her ready to go to the machine shop tomorrow, and we'll bring it down there and see what they have to say. We'll report back. Alright, Friday afternoon, just about 2:30, and we are at Head and Block Specialty in Stony Creek, Ontario, so we're just about to drop the head off and we'll see what they have to say. Alright guys, Saturday, October the 3rd, just hanging out in the garage. Sorry I haven't been out here much. I've been pretty busy at work, which is actually a good thing. It's starting to slow down a little bit for the next week, so hopefully I'll be able to be out here a bit more. But anyway, I thought I would give you a quick update on the head. The preceding part to this video was me dropping the head off at the machine shop, and this week the machine shops actually had a time to work on it, so they've been calling me with a few questions and a few concerns along the way, so I thought I would share those with you in this video. Okay, so here's the update. So the head has been hot tanked, the core plugs have been removed and hot tanked, and the head has been magnafluxed, and everything checked out as far as the magnafluxing is concerned. So no cracks, head's in good shape, so we're good to go there. Next thing I had them do was to check the current head thickness, and I don't recall the measurement that they told me, but I did give them the measurement that I was looking to get down to get to a 9.5 compression ratio. So they did do some measurements on the combustion chambers for me. And then calculated that I needed approximately 30 thousandths of material taken off the head in order to get to a 9.47 compression ratio is the final number that they came up with. So we're good to go there. Alright, the next thing that the machine shop had called me about was the valve seats. And they were telling me that the valve seats in the head looked very good after hot tanking and after inspection. So they were suggesting that I not go with the hardened valve seats that I had supplied them for the, actually I'd supplied them both for the intake and the exhaust, but they were only interested in doing the exhaust if the current valve seats were in bad shape. So they're telling me that the current valve sheets are in good shape, or in excellent shape, as he said. And they were a little worried about putting the hardened valve seats in. They've had some experiences in the past with TR6 and TR250 heads where they've actually gotten into the water jackets, because you need to obviously machine the head to get the seats in. And it gets relatively close to the jackets apparently, so they were a little bit leery about putting the hardened seats in. And since the current seats are in good shape, and I'm going to be doing limited mileage on this car, I told them I'd probably do about 5,000 kilometers max per year on this car. They were a little bit leery to put the valve seats in, and didn't think that I needed them based on what the seats look like in the head currently. So no hardened valve seats on the exhaust. We're just going to go with the stock seats, and obviously cleaned up. The next issue that came up with the machine shop was the set of new springs I had provided to the machine shop did not work with the aftermarket alloy spring retainers that I had on this head. Apparently the internal springs were too small to fit on the underside of the retainer. So some of you may not know, but the original setup for the TR250 head, and I believe the early TR6s, was a single spring setup, and at some point in its life this car had been changed to a dual spring setup. So I had actually purchased a new dual spring kit. So what's happened now apparently is those new internal springs would not fit. So what we decided to do is just to go with the, we actually checked the old spring set that came off of this head, and we're actually going to go with the old spring set and the old retainers. So again, some new parts not going to be being used. So the valve seats that I purchased not being used, the new valve springs not being used. So we'll have to put those towards another project at some point, I guess. Okay, the last thing that the machine shop called me about was use of valve stem seals. From the factory, the TR6s and TR250s did not use or utilize valve stem seals. So basically what happens if you do not use valve stem seals is the oil will travel down the valve through the guide and then burn through the exhaust, and you'll get a little puff of blue smoke. Usually when you shift or when the car's been sitting for a length of time. So anyway, I've decided to go ahead with valve stem seals. So they've given me a couple suggestions on valve stem seals to use. I think they're going to be using a low profile one. They were going to try a couple of different options for me. So they suggested a low profile option that would probably work the best on these type of valves. So I'll have to wait and see what they come up with as far as that is concerned, but they will be installing some sort of seal. So that is the update on the cylinder head. Sorry it's taken a little while to get the update in, but again, been pretty busy at work. So I did receive a call from the machine shop yesterday afternoon. It is ready for pickup. So now I just have to find some time to make that long trek there to pick it up. So that will definitely be next week, probably later in the week next week. So hopefully I'll bring you back with an update to show you the newly machined and reassembled cylinder head so we can get it ready to put back on the car and move forward. That's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching.